Students, in this passage we learn contribution done by Indian novelists like R.K. Narayan, Rajarao, Mulkraj Anand, then Arun Joshi, Kiran Desai, Arundhati Roy, Amitav Ghosh. So try to remember these names, who are the Indian authors and their famous contribution for Indian English. Now let's start next concept, that is novella and novel. Now we are going to distinguish between novella and novel. Novel is a lengthy, long narrative write up, and novella compared to novel little bit short. Let's see. A novella, a word originated from the Italian word novelle. So novella word originally it is in Italian word, that is novella, novelle, and is a type of prose fiction which is shorter than a full length novel and longer than short stories. It is a well structured yet short narrative, often satiristic and realistic in tone. It usually focuses on one incident or issue with one or two main characters and take place at the single tradition. Some of the famous novellas in English are. Students, now we discuss what is novella. Novella, the term, it is introduced from Italian word novelle. And now see the famous contribution by novelist for novella. The Heart of Darkness. The Heart of Darkness, it is written by Joseph Conrad. The Turn of the Screw by Henry James. Billy Bird by Herman Melville. Seize the Day by Saul Bellow. And Pearl by John Steinbeck. Student, match the pair, fill in the blanks. You have to by heart the name of the author and the name of the novella. You have to by heart this lesson. There is no choice actually, because based on this question there will be objective type question. If you want to get out of marks, you have to remember each and everything of this lesson. Now let's see elements of novel or novella. There are 6 elements. Now what are these 6 elements? We are going to learn one by one. Let's see. The first element. There are 6 elements essential of novel or novella. All these factors may be related to one another in the work by an author. First, theme. Theme is the first element of novel. Theme is the central idea in the novel which can be expressed in a nutshell. Theme is the first element and which can be expressed. It is the idea, central idea of the novel. It is a philosophical statement or a truth which the writer has put forth through the narration of the series of events in the story and characters acting in a particular setting. Theme means what is the central story of the novel. Suppose Pride and Prejudice, written by Jane Austen. What is the theme of the novel? The theme of the novel is marriage. So, same like novelists try to write novel particular on based on particular theme, war, then marriage, love, revenge, etc. Second element of novel, that is plot. Plot is essentially the story of the course of events that make up the theme. It is created by the conflict, either internal, inside the mind of the character, or external, with other characters or entities. Plot may be simple, one plot, or complex, consisting the interweaving of many subplots. There are 2 types of plots. What are the two types of plots? See, this is simple and complex plot. Student, remember there are two types of plot. Plot means story, simple and complex. Now third element of novel, character. Characterization is related to the plot as the course of events take place because of the certain behavior of the characters. Characterization is very important in novel. Due to characterization only we come to know that what type of the character is, whether it is the character having virtuous things or vices, villainous or heroic. So even character try to lead the story. So characterization, third element, is very important for the novel. Depiction of character can range from a thumbnail sketch to deep. Thumbnail is brief, short, concise. A thumbnail sketch to deep, wordy, highly detailed verbal sketch. The important character may have been described in its every aspect by the writer. The minor characters are not given much importance. Now type of characters, major character and minor character. You know that even in films there are heroes and side heroes. So in novel also major character and minor characters. The major characters are not given much importance. The reader follows the action of one main character throughout the novel. The character is referred as the protagonist. Protagonist means leading character, main character, having good values. And protagonist, main character, is the conflict which character or an entity or a force internal or external which is known as antagonist. Now another term, antagonist, means this character having villainous characteristics, features, opponent against the hero. Element number 4, that is setting. Setting is the background in which the story takes place. Now setting is very important. Setting tells time, place, period, background music, everything. Like in novel also we have setting like period, time, whether it was particular issue. What was the setting of the novel? There are several aspects of the setting. It includes place, period, time, climate or weather and lifestyle. Plot and character are the two major elements that are affected due to setting. And due to setting, plot and characters, these are the two elements are affected. Elements number 5, conflict. The conflict means the struggle between the opposite forces in the story is called conflict. Conflict in the story provides interest and curiosity about the plot. I know student, this lesson may be find boring because this is not the story. This is the history which is given in the textbook. And so this element, 6 element, plot, character, theme, setting, conflict, characterization, you have to remember. Now next element, that is language and style. The language and the techniques used by the author for the narration of the course of event is known as the style. An author can use extensive vocabulary and high phrases, or he may be laconic and would write only to the main point, and he may mix both according to the requirement for the meeting his purpose. He may use linguistic devices to make narrative effective. All these factors decide the texture of the narration and create an impact on the readers. So student, now we studied elements of novel and novella. These are the 6 elements including theme, plot, setting, characterization, language, style, conflict, etc. Now, dear students, next page we are going to learn. We are going to learn types of novel. See, we have various types of novel. Now, one by one we are going to discuss and we are going to learn what are the types of novel. First type, realistic novel. The name itself going to tell you that it is related to reality. The realistic novel is a fiction that gives the effect of realism. It is based on fact, truth. Sometimes this is also called a novel of manner. Novel of manner is based on fact and reality. It can be characterized by its complex characters with mixed motives that are rooted in the social class. The characters in the realistic novel interact with each other and undergo plausible and everyday experiences. First type of novel, that is realistic novel, even it is known as novel of manners, based on realism. Dear students, let's see second type of novel, that is picaresque novel. Now the word may find weird. Let's see what is picaresque. The word picaresque is originated from Spanish language. Spanish word picaro. Picaro is a Spanish word and which means rogue. Rogue, scoundrel, rascal. So this story is based on villainous character, scoundrel. A picaresque novel narrates the adventures of the protagonist, who is an eccentric or a disreputable person in an episodic form. So, picaresque novel, second type of novel, which is based on villainous character, Picaro. The Moll Flandre by Daniel Defoe is example of picaresque novel. We have Ima, a realistic novel, and a picaresque novel, Moll Flandre, written by Daniel Defoe. Third type, historical novel. Now, by name itself, you can understand what is historical novel. A historical novel is a novel set in period earlier than that of the writing. War and Peace, written by Tolstoy. Leo Tolstoy is a famous historical novel. Fourth type of novel, that is epistolary novel. Samuel Richardson wrote epistolary novel. Now let's see in detail what is epistolary novel. The word epistolary derives from the Latin word epistola. Epistola is Latin word and which means a letter. So this novel is based on letter. The epistolary novel is that in which the writer presents the narrative through a series of correspondence or other documents. These characters which are given in epistolary novel try to communicate with each other using letter or document. That is why it is known as epistolary novel. Although letter are the most common basis for epistolary novel, diary entries are also a popular form of this type. Diary entries. Diaries are also can be included in epistolary novel. Next type of novel, that is Gothic novel. The novel that includes terror, mystery, horror, thriller, supernatural elements. Gothic novel having various features: suspense, horror, supernatural elements, thriller, doom, death, decay, or haunted buildings. The ghost stories can be considered as a Gothic novel. are called the Gothic novels. An example of Gothic novel, The Castle of Otranto by Horace Walpole. This is the famous Gothic novel. Next type of novel, that is autobiographical novel. Autobiographical means the written by author, but it is the real story of author's life. It is based on reality only. This is the life scene scenario of that particular person which is narrated in the novel. The autobiographical novel is the novel based on the life of the author. However, the author changes the places and names of characters, or even many changes, or avoid certain details of his life. It may or may not be in the first person's narration. So, this is information about autobiographical novel.